What's up, Detroit? We are here live on Vibin in the D with Lele. I got a special treat for you guys. So let's get this intro going and we'll be back with the treat. What's up? What's up? So allow me to bring to the screen Coco, the comedian, the actress, the community, everybody, lover, the lady of Detroit, the queen of comedy, Coco.
Woo, woo.
Woo, woo,
Wait
woo,
a minute.
woo.
That's
What's
a lot of stuff. I ain't got the right wig on for all that. Wait a minute. That is a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff, but you do a lot of stuff.
I do. I do.
Welcome,
And since
welcome to
COVID hit,
Robin in the D with Lele.
well, thank you, Lele, for having me. Okay, I got my little earpieces thing in,
Okay.
yeah. So I hear you in stereo.
Oh, okay.
Um, um, Thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for allowing me to do something with all this energy I got.
Yeah, get it out.
Listen, I'll probably be up. My body is still like I haven't done radio since March. They
Wow.
furloughed us in March, so I have literally been like doing TV commercials and doing radio promos and doing different stuff either from home or I go to the studio or go shoot a commercial on set or whatever. But I got a tremendous amount of energy. So
Yeah.
even in the morning when I get up, I got two, and I wish I could show them to you. I got two workout balls in the corner. Then I got a weight band. It's a lot of stuff going on, and I get up early and take my supplements. I've been doing network marketing with a company called Isogenics. So
Okay.
I do, yeah. So people is listening. Listen, holler at me. You see all the ways to get in touch with me, and ask me about Isogenics. Um, it's been helping. It helps my skin. Wednesday is my detox day. So today was a detox day. And I not only detox my body, but I detox my mind. I try to limit my interaction electronically. And I try to do something around the house that gives me some clarity.
Okay.
Because sitting at home or not being able to interact with people, you almost have to get up in the morning and do a reality orientation. This is my name. This is today's date. This is the month. This is the year. Because we rely so much on social interaction.
Right, right.
You have to excuse my list because that's one of the other things that I've been doing. I had to stop when COVID had first hit, and then they opened up the dentist office. So I just had a temporary crown put on my tooth last week. So anyway, um, I tell all my business. So you have to have things that keep you alert and aware and all of those things. And I know people that just sit and they watch the news all day, CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, and they watch it all day. And then when
Mm.
they get ready to go to bed, they can't go to bed because it's a tremendous amount of anxiety. And it's a certain amount of anxiety that builds anyway because we've never experienced it.
Hmm.
We've never wanted to go outside and couldn't go outside.
Yeah, that's some new stuff right there.
Or you can't go to your friends and family members' house or whatever. And I see people I saw recently on social media with some folks that went through a store telling people to take their mask off. I said, see, them the same people that back in the 80s when they was telling people about HIV and wear a condom, them was the same people that didn't want to wear a condom. But
Right.
anyway, so yeah, so thank you for having me. And we're
Thank
gonna
you.
talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Well, one of the things I do want to know is
Yes, ma'am.
how did you get started in comedy? Like, how old were you when you had people peeing on themselves and stuff?
So I started in comedy, I was 28. So when I started in comedy, I was a nurse. And I had always had a sense of humor growing up because I got bullied all the time and I had to fight.
Mm.
All my life I had to fight. I had to, but I did. I really did.
Mhm.
So like girls would pick fights with me and because I was bigger than them, I get outside and they brothers standing outside.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so you finna fight a girl. They be like, but you a big girl. So I started capping on people and whatever. So people a couple days later would forget a fight.
Mm-hmm.
But if you say something about somebody, people don't forget that.
They sure don't.
They don't forget. They be like, I remember you told that guy that he had tatters and his. They don't forget that.
Right.
You know, you may forget a fight, and you know, I'm a '60s baby, so a couple days later, you back cool with the person.
Yeah.
But if somebody say something about you and people remember it, so it gives it power. So that became my way. I still fought a little bit. As tall as I was, there were still people that were bullies. Um, so I dealt with a lot of stuff growing up. So I started talking about folks. I had a sense of humor. Started doing comedy when I was 28. I started in February '91. My sister was 10 years older than me, and she had passed from a stress-related stroke. She didn't drink,
Wow.
smoke, none of that. Um, went bowling one night. Her and my mother. I was at work. Her and my mother, her children, my daughter, and they all went bowling. She went back home to get ready for work because she worked midnight. She was a nurse too,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a stroke.
Wow.
And they called me at work. I went to the hospital to see her, and they had transferred her to a rehab facility. And I went
Mm-hmm.
to see her the day before she passed, and she was like, "Make sure you bring the kids down here. You know, they teaching me how to walk and all that stuff, and we had to clothes or whatever." But that night, when that day when I left her, I just was like, because she had weakness on one side of her body. And my
Mm-hmm.
sister was always a person that did everything. She always did everything, went everywhere, and all that stuff. Was with her kids, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like her quality of life was compromised.
Right.
So when I left, I went to work, and my mother called me. Um, she had passed. So I needed to do something with all of that energy. So
Mm-hmm.
at that time, where the Greektown Casino is now, was a club downtown called Scruples, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
club in the Fisher Building called Club Pentas. So they did comedy on Tuesday night at Club Pentas, and then they did comedy on Wednesday night at Scruples.
Mm-hmm.
And my girlfriend and her uncle were down there, and she was like, "You need to come down here and do comedy. They got some comedians down here, whatever." I said, "Oh, okay." So I had a little boyfriend at that time, and I did had a little boyfriend, and he always wore. He was a very nice man, but he always wore like overalls and blue jeans and stuff like that. So we had to go get him together. I got him a little outfit. I got him drunk and cut the Jerry curl out his head. And
Lord.
oh, listen, don't judge me. He had a Jerry, and he didn't want to put no activate in the Jerry curl. See,
Ooh, it
that's
was
the thing.
dry.
So it was it'd be like it just be sticking like this, like. I said, no, we not, we not, Mister. Mr. His mistress was JD. I said, sir, we not. So I got him drunk. He really didn't drink. Got him drunk and cut his hair. So I botched it up so bad he had to go to the barber and get a real haircut. So he got it cut real short.
Oh,
You judging me? Don't judge me. So we got him an outfit, got the haircut. So he went down. I think I started comedy either April the 1st or 2nd of '91. I know it was like a Wednesday night.
wow.
And we would leave there. And I was still working as a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter was 6. No, wait a minute. Hold on. My daughter didn't turn 6 until March of '91. So my daughter was 5. So I was a mother. Thank God I was living at home with my mother, and she helped me. Although she told me I wouldn't never be funny or nothing, and she started naming all the you ain't gonna never be no Richard Pryor, no Mom's Maybell, the Red Fox or none of that. You ain't gonna. I don't even know what you wasting your time for. So anyway, we gonna come back to that because black parents will kill your dream, baby. They don't know,
That
but
yeah.
in her mind it was, are you gonna stop being a nurse? You gonna give up a consistent paycheck being a nurse? And I
Mm-hmm.
guess if I said, okay, I want to go back and get more degrees in nursing, she'd have been with that. But being a comedian, no. Nah. And then another thing for black folks is they don't want you on stage talking about them.
Mm.
That's the crazy part. They don't want you on stage talking about your family. So had a daughter working as a nurse and doing comedy. And I loved comedy. The very first time I went on stage, it was a buzz because people laughed. So I had a friend, shout out to George Lyons. I can't call you his nickname, attorney George Lyons.
Ah.
He helped me get my set together.
Mm-hmm.
So he was into music. He did, he was into music. He wrote and sang and all that. But he was in entertainment, so he helped me get my first real comedy set together.
Wow.
And what is this?
George?
Huh?
I was like,
what's up, George?
Shout out.
So here we are in 2020.
Yeah.
Going into 2021. So in February of 2021, it'll be 30 years that I've been doing stand-up.
Wow. Applause. Applause. Woo!
What up to Angela Davis? Hey, Angela Davis. But it's been a very interesting walk.
I bet. I bet.
When I did when I first did the joke where I pulled all the stuff out my bra.
Let's look at that.
You a bad little kid.
Let's look at that right quick.
Let's check that out. Let's check that out.
Michigan, won't you please welcome Coco. Coco.
What's up? Y'all know I got some things going on in my life. Don't worry about it. I ain't gonna shoot nobody. I ain't gonna stick nobody up. But I feel as a group of people. No, wait a minute, hold on. I feel we should be able to stick together. I feel we should be able to communicate with one another. You know what I'm saying? Because see, it's too much going on. Oh, crazy shit. People shooting people, you know what I'm saying? It's too fucked up. It's just too fucked up. And I really, really think we just, shut up.
I love that. I know you also did it on Comic View too.
I did on Comic View in 96 as well. And then that was done in 96. So I was 33 years old.
Wow.
And Def Jam had just moved one of his office. They opened up an office. So this was right at the apex of the hip hop East Coast, West Coast rivalry and all that stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
So Russell Simmons opened up a Def Jam office in LA. And instead of having Martin, who was the hosted, because Martin was doing other stuff, he had different comedians and different people host. So Steve Harvey was hosting, Church the Entertainer, George Wallace or whatever. And when I tell you, when we touched down in LA, it was so, because this was the second time I had been in a matter of months. It was like, when I tell you security and the police, they had the LAPD, they had the Nation of Islam, Russell Simmons had security. It was bananas. And everybody that you would have thought that you ever want to see was coming to the shows. Because comedy is the thing. So in my audience, because I tape with Mike Epps, in the audience it was Tiny Lister was in the audience, and Brian McKnight and TLC, and LL Cool J. So I'm in the back already, and I had went through some stuff because my shirt, you wasn't supposed to wear white then. You couldn't wear white on camera back then. But my shirt was it was a cream color. So the stage manager was like, "You can't go on stage with that on." I said, "Well, where you gonna find a shirt to fit me?" And he said, "I'll be right back." I mean, listen, that wasn't the run of the mill And I'm smaller now than I was then. I was like, well, wait a minute. So she came back. She said, go ahead and get your makeup done. I said, okay. So I started getting my makeup done. She came back with the blue shirt.
Mm.
And I went on. I was in the wings watching everybody walking up and down the hall. I'm like, okay, wow, yeah. But I was in radio, so I
Mm-hmm.
started in radio in September '96. So everything was sort of just happening.
Wow.
And I'm looking at everybody. I said, okay. So when I went on stage, it is like, and it still happens now. My feet get tingly, and you perform. You're a comedian. You know how the feeling is. You get that
You
whole
feeling like you
your
about to get a whooping or something?
yeah, and you like and you can't leave the house because you it's like and your mama steadily calling your name, bring your but you like ain't nowhere you can't jump out a window,
You can't.
ain't nowhere to go, ain't
No,
nowhere to go.
man.
So that's how I feel before I go on stage, and I've learned to take all of that energy and walk on stage with it, and then my first joke, I've taken that energy and put that energy out.
Okay.
So it's a normal thing. And before Luther Vandross passed, I remember we interviewed him and I asked him, I said, do
Oh.
you get that feeling?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, absolutely. And this was a time when they had started doing concerts at Comerica Park. So they had put chairs all out on the grass.
Mm-hmm.
And however many people Comerica Park hold, plus an additional like 20,000 people because the whole baseball field was full of chairs.
Wow.
And he said, absolutely, I get it. He said, and here's the thing. He said, sis, when you stop getting that feeling, it's time for you to either step back
Mm-hmm.
and look at what you're doing, reassess what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's time to walk away altogether. Because when your gift stops working for you, you have to go back. To me, I say go back to God and say, okay, God, wait a minute now. This is the gift that you gave me. How I need you to tweak it or modify it or do whatever you do because I know you've already told me that this is a promise that you've given me, and my
Right.
gift will make a way for me. So even in everything that's been going on during this quarantine period, I have to ask myself, like, okay, is this you still want to be a comedian? Okay, you could get a regular job, and I'm thinking, well, what can I do?
Right.
Welcome to Dutch Girls. Welcome to Sinai.
You come down there to
Huh?
the storage facility.
Oh yeah, and people would never leave. You had people with chairs. They had chairs in there, and Coco said she's gonna give me a hookup, and I done thought I said maybe I could work for Amazon. Hmm.
Ooh, we. Mm-hmm.
But I've thought about that. Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order, please?
Oh Lord.
Well, welcome to Wendy's. Welcome to White Castle. Welcome to Nordstrom's. How can I help you? How are you today? What would you like? Oh, you want to see the 2021 collection of the Louis Vuitton? You want this? What you want? Okay, yeah. Welcome to Neiman Marcus. It's a lot of stuff that in my mind, I know I could do,
Mm-hmm.
but I see the managers calling me off the floor like, come here. You're going to have to break that up. What? I done got this all my life. When I was a nurse, they called me. Whatever I did, they called me. What are you doing? Even
Yeah,
at church,
me
even
too.
at church, they tell me you holding court. Why you got what is going on? I'm like, they talking to me. Then my mama would come pick me up from school, and I'd have a group of kids around me. She's like, get your ass in this car. Like, she said, why you got to be one of the last kids to come straggling out? What was you doing? I was talking to my friends. Who? Them? They're my friends. Get in the car. That was
Entertaining
my
folks.
yeah, and I used to get a whooping for it. I used to do it when I was a kid. Stayed in trouble. I would make fun of my family. stayed in trouble. When I tell you I stayed in trouble, I stayed in trouble. You know your black cousins is texting me, talking about they trying to find the show. Where you at? Listen, I told you this before we started, y'all. Listen, before we started, I told Lele, I said, your people gonna wait till the last minute and they're gonna start sending messages. Like,
Yeah.
wait, well, I can't find you. Where you at?
Right.
And I specifically, we've been posting all day.
All day long.
See, I love your people, but sometimes,
I'm about to
okay,
delete some of them.
no, now's not the time.
No, I guess not. Yeah, I wait till I don't even know when it's gonna be normal again.
It may not ever go back to being what we think is normal.
Yeah, it's the new way.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, when they had outhouses and they started putting bathrooms in the house, folks were like, "Lord, you mean to tell me I could go to the crapper indoors? I ain't got to use the slop jar, nothing. Really, I'll get to walk in there indoors."
Wow.
Yeah,
Is everybody able to hear us well? Somebody said it's not streaming or something. But if it's any issues, somebody let us know in the comments.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure your folks, they be like, what's going on?
Right.
You know how they do. What's going on? They do their mouth like this. What's going on?
So with the radio show on 910.
Yes.
I know some other shows and radio shows continue when COVID took over. What was you guys didn't want to do like a virtual type thing or anything?
I did. We did. But they dismantled the whole that whole Coco show as we had come to know it.
What?
It was like, okay, listen, radio is a very interesting business. If somebody had told me, and I knew technology constantly happens, like when you went from black and white with the pregnant TVs, you know, the TVs with the picture tubes in the back. If somebody had told if somebody had told me that one day you'd be able to watch TV from a phone or whatever,
yeah,
we knew the world was going to change, but we tend to want to control our element of change.
Right.
So if somebody had told me when I started radio in '96 that all this stuff would be going on, I'd be like, really? So when technology started to happen, I was with one company. I was with iHeart from '96 to 2014. Then I went to Radio 1 from 2014 to 2018. Was let go from Radio 1, and I went to 910 / The Word Network in September of 2019 to March of 2020.
Wow.
So sometimes you go into a situation and you kind of know all the factors that are present and what you want to do, but your gift has taken you, and I always say this, that was my assignment for whatever period of time that I was there.
Right.
And I was able to reach a completely different audience of people because it was talk radio.
Right.
And, you know, people say, well, you know, you did hip-hop music. Yes, I probably was the oldest living hip-hop radio personality it was. Listen, baby, hip-hop was amazing.
Yeah.
I got to meet some wonderful, wonderful people. But when you somewhere at a party to 1 o'clock in the morning, you got to get back up at 4:30. Some days I would just go home, take a shower, and go to the radio station and be like this in the studio.
You ain't had time to do nothing else.
Nothing. I done washed up at the sink in the radio station in the bathroom before. I'm like, no, I ain't gonna even go home. I always kept a bag of stuff with me. You know, they used to call them a old bag back in the day, but I had my bag.
Right.
So I pushed something up against the bathroom. There wasn't nobody in the building at that time. I'd wash up, change my clothes, brush my teeth, do the whole thing, and be in the studio. We done drunk about 2 cups of coffee.
Wow.
So coming off of liquor and going on to coffee. Sometimes I'll be like this, but you're
Right.
still tired, but your body wide awake. You be like, wait a minute, hold on. I sure want to take a nap.
Right.
Can't even close my eyes. So
Wow.
it's been interesting. It's been a great ride. Um, I think that if I do radio again, it'll be on my own terms.
Yeah.
It'll be a format like this or a podcast or whatever. It'll
Yeah.
be on my terms with the information because it's so many things that we need and so much information that we need. And
Right.
radio for us has always been our source to get the information.
Yeah.
So when you start to change and micromanage radio, because everybody from the program director down, nobody wants to give up their seat in the radio kingdom. They'll do whatever and I'm saying this, they'll do whatever they have to do to keep that throne. Baby, listen, you try to take that throne away from them, they holding on to that throne till blood is under their fingers.
Wow.
But it's like that. It's another element of who we are. So for people that have done radio for any period of time, you've been a DJ, you've been a radio personality, you worked at a few stations. If you worked at one station and you had longevity or whatever, you kind of learn. It teaches you great people skills.
Right.
Because one day you do radio, they tell you, okay, it's about the numbers. You get the numbers up. Okay, you get the numbers up. Then they tell you it's about the music. Okay, well then we don't control the music. Somebody programs the music in. Then you need to do this and you need to do that. And then when everything is in order, ain't nothing still in order. Okay, so everything is in order. We did all the stuff we were supposed to do. Now I need my bonus. And no, do not put my bonus on my regular check. Y'all ain't gonna double tax me like that.
Right. Right. Get it to me separate.
No, listen, they'll try.
Yeah.
And you learn about management. You learn about racism, sexism, gendercism, or whatever. All of that. It's ever present. You learn that people will go to great lengths to listen. I got a song. My nephew is a rapper, and he got a song, and what I got to do to get it played on the air? I said, sir, you would have to do X, Y, and Z. Well, I can't. No, I can't. No. So at one time, when there were all the record labels,
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, Arista, Motown, when it was all the labels, and they had A&R people, and they had people to do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then that kind of changed a little bit, then a lot of bit. Then this company went away, this company merged, Columbia, this. And then now you look at the change of a lot of artists, if they write something, the money's in the writing, but now you got to perform. Now you got to get your stuff downloaded from Apple or iTunes or whatever. Yeah. So you got to really, really do the work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
So the money is gone from CD and album sales to now doing live appearances. Now you got to hit the stage. Now you got to sell out venues. Now you got to do stuff to push the needle and change the narrative of what's going on.
Right.
So it's ever changing, and you sit and you watch, and people always say, "Well, how did so and so lose all their money?" Because they didn't have any rights to what they did. Because all you want to do as an artist is perform.
Right.
And you thinking, okay, they gave you this particular vehicle, or they gave you this house, or they gave you these necklaces and this jewelry, and they gave you all this stuff, and they flew your mama in and your grandmama and your cheering, and they did all of that stuff. And then they give you a check for $30. And you was like, well, where's my money? Well, them first class airline tickets, and they got everything itemized. The airline tickets, the hotel accommodations, the suite, the chartered plane, all that. I'm like, oh, okay. So you mean I did 50 shows and I got $37.
Lord, I ain't laughing, but gee, will
this can't be life.
And
You mean us?
a lot of people don't realize it happens like that. They be thinking it's all the way different.
Oh no, it happens just like that.
Wow.
It happens just like that. And then, or you see somebody and they song, one of their songs is saying all the stuff, and then when you actually get to know them, you like, all that stuff you said, you ain't doing none of that. How many, how many guns you had in your video?
They was
You
acting.
ain't, look, you ain't even got a bow and arrow. How come how you do?
Wow.
But it's theater of the mind. Just
Yeah.
like everybody tripping on uh Cardi B, and you know they've been going off on her today. She said she want a divorce. What's her husband name?
Offset. She want to be off.
Yeah, yeah. She want to be
Set
opposite of
off.
Offset. Yeah, she want to be Offset, and she want a divorce. And everybody telling me, "Oh, that WAP ain't working for you. You should cook and clean." Well, think about it now. If you had the kind of money that her and her husband have, and you working and traveling or whatever, are you really finna cook and clean?
Nope.
And the house that she live in, you finna try to clean that?
The dust alone a killer.
So, and then it's a whole nother business for people that do celebrity chefing and celebrity housekeeping or whatever.
Yeah.
It's people that are celebrity chefs that make a very, very nice amount of money. They go into the homes, cook the food, cook the meal, people that are housekeepers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a whole business for somebody. That's a whole LLC for somebody
Right.
that can cook. And I'm sure she can cook, and I'm sure she can clean. What the about? She need to see she need to cook and clean. Listen, sometimes I don't want to cook and clean.
Right.
So, but never mind. But I want everybody to have their happiness. I ain't got no problem with Cardi B and her WAP. I got WAP too. We ain't playing. We all packing. We all praying. Hmm.
Whop it up. So
Yeah, that's my WAP.
tell me about Coco's House of Comedy.
Oh man, that was something that went from being like a conversation to probably still almost, I would say, 15 plus years later,
Mm-hmm.
maybe being one of the biggest things for me and the people that I was surrounded with at that time. So it allowed me to do what I love,
Mm-hmm.
and do it for people that I loved, with people that I love.
That's what's up.
So it gave me just the whole trifecta, the whole trinity. What I love, with who I love, and for people that I love.
Mm-hmm.
So it gave me a whole, and people came in from all over the country, and then it allowed me also to work as well. So I may have been, sometimes I was there in town,
Mm-hmm.
the whole month. I'm at the spot, I'm at the club, and then sometimes I was there 2 weekends out the month, and the other 2 weekends I might have been on the road.
Wow.
So it gave me some leverage. It gave me something to do. It gave me a great sense of, and I still meet people now that say, you know what, I never could get in Coco's House of Comedy. I wasn't old enough, or my mama used to come down there. And Lila, we talking about, and I got to say thank you to everybody that ever supported that vision and that dream. We talking about people would stand outside in the snow and in the rain,
Wow.
and, and walk 2 or 3 blocks. They would park over on the next block or down 2 or 3 blocks
That's
and walk
crazy.
over. It was it was amazing. I'm talking about, it was, in retrospect, I get emotional when I think about it, because it was amazing. It was, and I remember we would be over capacity, and
Wow.
I would see the fire marshal walk in the door, and I'd be like, mm. And I knew them. They come walking in, I'm like, mm. And listen, I would do like this. point to my partners. They nod like we know, and I'm like, ooh, 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 ooh. You know, all the police came, all the city officials came, educators, school teachers, everybody came. Cats from the hood, all the listen, anybody that is anybody came there. And
That's
it was never like we had a few incidents. Don't get me wrong. We had some situations, but it was a place where you could come and you felt comfortable.
yeah.
You could come and get great food. Miss Hattie had the out coldest chicken wings and French fries ever.
Mm.
Great, great drinks. Shout out to my girl Teresa that ran the bar. Listen, and it was just a great spot.
Yeah.
It was ball players, athletes, everybody. You know, they'd be like, I got notes in my head. I'm like, okay, we got so and so from the such and such in the building, and we got such and such and such and such in the building. Okay, we got so much. Okay, so yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was an experience that I will never forget. And I met some wonderful, wonderful, amazing people. Just people that were in the city. People would come from Toledo and Cleveland and all that stuff. They'd be like, "Oh, y'all got DL this weekend? I'm coming down." They would come from Cleveland. Sometimes they would get a hotel room. Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes they would drive 2.5, 3 hours from Cleveland, or come down from Flint or Port Huron or whatever. And they would come to see DL, or Dale Givens, or Kenny Howe, Deion Cole, Damon Williams,
You done
Mike
met
Epps.
all of them, ain't you?
Yeah, yeah. It was wonderful. It was
Wow.
that's like a whole nother element of, when you could do something that you're passionate about and
Mm-hmm.
touch the masses. You get to touch the masses and put a smile on their face. And there was no social media.
Right.
I mean, you had AOL or whatever, but the cameras was disposable. Maybe if you did have a phone with a camera, it was it was a little flip phone or whatever, or a
Right.
razor or whatever they had.
Right.
But just to put a smile on somebody's face, or have somebody for me years later say, I used to come down to the House of Comedy all the time. It kept me from doing so and so, or I couldn't wait to come home from prison to come down there. When I came home from prison, I told my family I want to go to the House of Comedy, and they took me and got me a new outfit, and I came down there and I talked to you, and you didn't make me feel like I was a criminal or anything like that. You treated me regular. You are regular. Do you know where I'm from and who my people is?
Right.
You
Hey,
really don't know who my people is, for real. Baby, that's one arm of my life, the Highland Park arm. I got a whole east side arm, and then I got a northeast side, the Quentin Davison. Then I got I got a Jamaican side, and yeah, it run deep. Whew,
oh,
my eyes welling up.
you froze up. Hold on. It's
That's a
froze.
nice pose. That's a nice pose, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Strike a pose. I don't know why it's frozen though. Can
I
you
don't
hear me?
know.
Okay, it came
I'm
back.
back.
It
Woo,
came back.
woo,
So
woo,
you
woo.
grew up in Highland
Ah!
Park.
I grew up in
H.
Highland Park. I was born on the north end.
Okay.
Um, I was born on Cameron between Euclid and Philadelphia. That's the address on my birth certificate. I was born in Highland Park General. Um, I spent my formative years in Highland Park. Between Highland Park and then the northwest side of Detroit, Grand River and the Boulevard, and then a little bit on the east side. Got some east side. I went to church. I grew up at the church Rising Star, New Rising Star on the east side, on Mac between Harding and French Road. Down the street from Mac and Bewick. Everybody talk about Mac and Bewick. I remember when Mac and Bewick was, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I heard about Mac and Bewick, but I went down there. You were doing some community work, and I
I
came
was.
there, and people was
I
like,
froze again.
"Yeah, you froze again."
It's okay. And it's an ugly pose. Like,
Right.
that ain't cute.
I
We
went
got
down
it. We got
there.
to go to keep.
People was like, "You went where?" I said, "Mac and Benwick." They was like, "Is you crazy?" And I'm like, "What? It was nice. It was fun."
See, people, there are people, and there are people that have lived on the east side of Detroit for 50 years and never gone on the west side.
That's so
My,
crazy.
my, my uncle got killed on the west side in 1969, and I promised I would never go over there. Well, okay. Or
Oh,
people that live on the west side that have never gone on the east side.
yeah.
My mom was in a car accident at Belle Isle back in '74, and I ain't going over there. I'm like, really? So
Oh,
you just go, but there have been studies done that say people are born, they go to school, they worship, and they marry within a 5 to
that-
10 block radius of where they at.
that's wild.
So I don't believe in boundaries. I went everywhere. Before I was driving or had a car, I would get on the bus. Baby, listen, be all at Eastland and all I
Man,
back in the day. I'd be all at Eastland and Northland and Boblo and all of that stuff. So
Pablo.
yeah, your
Wow.
parents drop you off and tell you where they're gonna be when you come back and get you. And you better not miss that last boat.
Right, man. So
Mm,
as
mm.
far as like travel, what's the best place that you've gone to perform?
Oh my gosh.
Your favorite?
Most of the places that I've been, like I like, it's funny. I just got a text message, and um um every place that I've been, for the most part, has been memorable.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, like I got a lot of memories of Chicago. I used
Mm-hmm.
to love Chicago. I would catch the train to Chicago in a heartbeat and go and work a club called All Jokes Aside. Shout out to my man Raymond Lambert, or the Click, or the Cotton Club on Monday nights. Bernie Mac used to host the amateur night at the Cotton Club.
Wow.
So if I went to Chicago for the weekend to work,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably try to stay over that Monday night to go to the Cotton Club, because Bernie Mac was hosting the amateur night. So you
Oh,
had singers and everybody there. Dion Cole would be there, and D. Ray Davis and all them cats.
yeah.
Um, Phoenix, Arizona. Everywhere that I've gone, I got great memories. And I
What's
and the funny part is, huh?
what's the farthest you've gone, and have you been out of the country to
Yeah, I've
perform?
been out the country. I like Toronto. I love Toronto.
Uh-huh.
Toronto is beautiful. Um, Alaska is not out the country, but I love Alaska. Like, when you say Alaska, people got a concept of Alaska,
All the
but it's
time.
a lot
Like,
of us.
was it dark?
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of us in Alaska.
Is it?
Um, yes. It's a lot of black folks that moved to Alaska to work the pipeline in the 70s.
Ah,
So you remember the episode of Good Times when James was supposed to go to Alaska and work the pipelines
I think
and
so.
make $500 a week or whatever?
Uh-huh.
A lot of us, when the recession hit, moved to Alaska. So
Wow.
when I was touring, oh yeah, when I was touring, and they got a huge military base there
Okay.
in, um is it Anchorage? I think it's in Anchorage. So when we were out touring, we did like 3 dates. We got to Alaska. We did Fairbanks and Anchorage. So we did 2 shows in Anchorage and then 1 show in Fairbanks. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
1 show in Fairbanks, whatever. Fairbanks is a little more densely populated. Anchorage looks like downtown Detroit. They have a lot of Asians, a lot of Russians,
Mm-hmm.
because it's only like, yeah, it's like a skip and a hop from Russia.
Wow.
So you we went to the military base, and I'm on the military base, and I'm like, okay, we went in. It was like May. So during the warmer months and the hotter months, I froze again. Oh, that's an ugly face. That's a Billie Holiday face.
Ah!
Good morning, heartache. You old gloom sky. Good morning, heartache. Thought we said goodbye last night. Oh, we gotta unfreeze that.
I know. There you go.
Okay. Well, I ain't gonna make that face no more. So during the warmer months, you get more daylight.
Okay.
So we were there in May, so you get like 17, 18 hours of daylight. So it's 10 o'clock at night, but it looked like it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Wow.
So people do say, and people have adapted. They there. They say people there sometimes people do have a higher rate of depression
Mm-hmm.
and alcoholism and substance abuse or whatever because it's your body woke when it's really supposed to be sleep or whatever. But we went to the military base, hung out at the military base, and I saw a guy on the military base from Highland Park.
Mm-hmm.
And we on the military base and we walking on the base and I'm like, okay, because we were there to promote the show. And I said, I know him. And I'm trying to think who was with me. Lavelle Crawford, Kenny Howe.
Wow.
It was about 6 of us. Deion Cole. We on this military base. And I'm like, I know him. They was like, there you go. Tell me what you know. So I said, I do. So I walked up to him. I'm like, aren't you from Highland Park? He was like, yeah, I left Highland Park when I graduated. I said, I didn't ask you that. I said, you grew up in Highland Park and you went to, yeah. But he was from Highland Park
Wow.
and he had been, yep, he had been in the military. He left Highland, he said, man, I left Highland Park. I ain't looked back. And he was stationed in Alaska. Alaska is beautiful. It is really, really beautiful. But it's a lot of us. Yeah, we went to the Elks Club. They was having a fish fry. On Friday, they had a fish fry. Baby, I saw Jerry curls and gold teeth in the Elks Club.
No.
And I had to ask, and I'm sitting talking to Lavelle, and I'm like, he said, listen, Auntie over there got a Jerry curl and a gold tooth. I'm finna go and talk to her.
Wow.
I said, okay. And she said she moved in the 70s. And he said, well, where you go and get your Jerry curl at? She was originally from, I think, Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
And she said she flies home like 4 times out the year. And
Wow.
she had a Jerry curl.
She had a real Jerry curl.
And gold teeth. And she kept sucking the gold teeth like, listen, that fish they fried was so good. It was like a bear had just caught it and brought it to the back door of the Elks Club. Like a bear just walked up and was just throwing the fish and going back to the water and getting it and bringing it back.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. It's
what you praying? What's you praying right now?
I know. I ain't doing no more poses. I'm gonna sit right here.
So, question.
Yes.
What, you don't think it's a good idea to date dudes that live in their mama basement?
I mean, nowadays you can. Right now I know a lot of people that are coexisting generationally.
Yeah.
It's 3 generations in the household. And I'm not, what I say is not everybody. But we are one of the few races of people that say as soon as you get 18, you got to get out my house.
I heard that from the age of 12 all the way up until I got out.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You can't even focus on growing up because they keep telling you when you get to this particular age, you got to get out.
Yeah.
So you can't be a child. You can't be a teenager because you focusing on when I turn 18, no matter what is going on in my life, my parents have said that you got to get out.
Yep.
And how much sense do you have? How much? And here's the thing. You tell them to get out, but you a quarter for them to go nowhere. You
Right.
ain't even paid the first and last month rent for them if they got a job. You ain't even got money to get them books if they go to college with a scholarship or not without a scholarship.
You ain't even
So
explaining to them about credit.
you, how about you don't know about they don't know about credit. They don't know about 401k or
None of
IRA or none of that stuff. They just saying you got to get out. But where am I gonna go? What life skills have you prepared me?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you might have taught me how to cook and how to separate clothes and wash, but you haven't given me any life skills because from the time I was old enough to process, you've been saying when you get 18, you got to get out of my house. But at the same time, I got to get out of your house. But when your house is nasty, it's our house. You live here too. You got to clean up. Well, wait a minute. When you telling me I got to get out, it's your house. When it's nasty or something wrong, it's our house. I don't get that.
Mm-mm.
But
Lord,
you can't say nothing to people about the way they raise their children. And parenting don't come having a child don't come with no book. You can buy anything else, a refrigerator. They got when you buy a refrigerator, it's a booklet that tell you how to use this refrigerator. Dishwasher, washing machine, perm. They tell you how to put perm in your head. Children, ain't no book, ain't no manual, ain't none of that. Is my daughter in the arts? Kind of, sort of. Um, my daughter has modeled. We did some plus size modeling for years. Um, she's done the vagina monologue, and she's interested in getting into acting. So we've had that conversation.
nice. Hey,
Um,
let's watch this little clip right quick.
you on some foolishness. You got some shenanigans. Let's
Yeah.
watch it.
You ready?
Yep, let's go.
Okay.
Yes. He's like, I wish he would. I sure wish he would. He used to go to work from his house. Ain't no wash rag, nothing. You got an old sweat sock on the wrong side that you washing up with. You standing right in front of that plastic sink between the washer and the dryer with the black rubber hose in it like this. And you washing up. Ain't no body wash. You washing up with some game. You get to work about 9, about 10:30, you done broke out from your head to your toe. You having an allergic reaction. You go to your boss like, I gotta go home. I done broke out. You don't know if you got bed bugs or what's going on. Stop. Set your bar a little higher, just a little.
You wrong for that.
Woo!
I'm just listen. Nowadays, the basement ain't a bad place.
Right.
But you know, all basements ain't the same. Like I done been in them old wet basements, like I
Ooh.
said, where, where it smell like you be like, is it mold? Is it black mold in this basement? What's going on? And you hear something going, and you don't see the dog, but the dog see you, and then you lay across the bed and you feel the dog mouth or nose on your foot, and
Mm.
you trying to figure out how big the dog is, but you don't want to snatch your foot back. And I'd be like, "Do you have a dog?" "Oh yeah, I got a." And it's always a big dog. "Oh yeah, I got a." But they say it's little. "Yeah, I got a little Doberman pincher." Like what? "I got a little Bouvier," and it's always a dog that they don't make no more. I'd be like, I ain't seen a Doberman in years or a
Right.
Bouvier. Yeah, I got. And I say, "Okay, can you cut the light on?" And they cut the light on, and the dog tongue is real long and gray looking, just hanging out their mouth, and they like.
Oh, look.
But I'm gonna date again. I am going to date again.
Not Harold, though, right?
No Harold's. No Harold's, no Arthur's. I'm froze again too. That's a nice pose.
Yeah. He
Okay.
said no Harold and no Arthur.
No Harold's, no Arthur's. Um, you got to set a standard. You got to have a standard for relationship,
Yeah.
um, and all of that. So let me shout out because you asked me about going on the road. So let me the end of this month, next month, no, the end of this month, September the 26th and 27th, I'm gonna be in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Ooh, Tennessee. Put me in your suitcase.
Tennessee, yes, Tennessee. They used to say Tennessee back in the day. But anyway, I'm leaving and I'm gonna be in Nashville, and then I'm working in Murfreesboro. Get to work with my man TC Cope, one of the funniest comedians by far in the country. My man Kenny Howell, and we at a venue. It's a large venue, but it can only hold a certain amount of people because of social distancing.
Right, right.
And for me, I got to, I'm programming myself. Like after the show, I'm running out the door because we ain't doing no pictures and all of that. Y'all put your mask back on, and we running out the door. But TC Cope was one of my favorites. They used to come to the House of Comedy. So
Mm-hmm.
before Rodney Winfield passed, Rodney and TC Cope would travel together, and
Mm-hmm.
he would come to Detroit, and he my guy. It's like you said, like every city that I've
Mm-hmm.
gone to. So TC was always if I'm in Tennessee anywhere. So he always had work in at Fort Campbell or Clarksville or Nashville or somewhere in Kentucky. If he wasn't like in LA or somewhere else, if he was in town and had a show for you,
Mm-hmm.
he was there. And working for comics that know the rules of comedy etiquette makes it so much easier because they're gonna always make sure your money right, your accommodations right, your hotel right, everything gonna be in order.
Right.
A lot of people that they want to pimp comedy because comedy is one of those things that everybody think they could be a comedian.
Mm.
Everybody know they can't sing. Everybody know they're not an Angela Davis. They know that.
Angela Davis.
Yes, yes. One of the premier vocalists that sang at the Lions game on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, that she was winning. Yeah, the Lions did otherwise, but never mind. Um, but everybody know they can't sing.
That's true.
Everybody know they can't dance, and everybody know that they're not a musician. But everybody wants to be a comedian, and
Yeah.
everybody jumps in that lane with both feet, and you just kind of looking at them like. And people come up to me and I'm a comedian. I'm like, okay, well, where you done work? Oh man, this my first night. I'm like, oh okay, all right.
Wow.
And then they say, oh yeah, I'm finna go get a drink so I get a buzz. I said, you ain't gonna never get enough buzz if this your first night to go on stage. And if you get that drunk, you're gonna go on stage and you're gonna be drunk and it ain't gonna be comedy. So comedy is the most disrespected form of entertainment.
Wow.
If you tell somebody, they say, well, I'm doing so and so, and I want you to come out and do comedy. No, no, I hate when people say this. I want you to come tell some jokes. I don't tell jokes. Your uncle get drunk at the family reunion and tell jokes
Right.
with them knee socks on and them church sandals with that buckle that's this big on them sandals. I want you to come and tell some jokes. Or I'm doing an event. I want to get you some exposure, bro. I'm exposed. How much that's gonna cost me? Okay, give me some details. When is it? What's going on? So I can get you this contract going. And you tell them your price. Oh man, so and so, Monkey Mouth George said he'll charge me $50. Well, you need to get.
Ah, I don't know why they do that. What is up with that?
They don't respect the craft because everybody thinks that they could do this. They
Yeah.
they really do. They don't know the elements of you got to be able to reinvent yourself. So even when COVID hit and you had to take it virtual, a lot of comedians said, I can't do that. I have to have an audience.
Mm-hmm.
Angela Davis, funny you should say that about the master's class. I am putting a master class of comedy together right now.
Hey,
Yes, I'm working on that right now. That'll be something that I do virtually.
that's what's
And I was trying to wait till the election and the census was over.
mm,
Speaking of that, sidebar public service announcement, fill out your census form, people. You can go to my2020census.gov or fill out the census form that came in the mail. It's 9 questions. It takes about 10 minutes. If it takes a little longer, it is okay. And let me help you out. No, it's not going to affect your credit score. No, it won't affect anything. No, you're not going to be fined. It helps us get funding actually for the police agencies and public safety and for schools and childcare and government programs, especially now. In 2010, we missed the bar. We missed the bar. We lost out on millions, probably billions of dollars because we didn't fill out the census form. So I need you to fill out your census form, and I need y'all to vote
about the census. Yeah. So I know before that there was a cutoff date that you had to fill it out by.
September the 30th.
And okay, so they checked because before, I guess it was before COVID came.
Yeah, it was April.
Okay. Yeah.
April or May. And they pushed it back to the 30th.
And stop telling people they ain't filling that out. They ain't gonna find out what I'm doing.
They don't care what you're doing. If you got a cousin that been at your house since COVID hit, they live there. Put them on the census form.
Yeah.
Put Clevester on the census form. I know he got that red, white, and blue back.
Clevester, I'm done.
Put Clevester on the census form.
We got Monkey George and Clevester. I'm done.
Listen, they gonna be on the comedy show. Coming to the stage, give it up for Monkey Mouth George.
Wow.
I'm saying it has to be respected. We have to respect comedy. We have to give comedy respect.
Yeah.
And between some of the janky promoters that's out here and the way some of the people handle their business.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, don't get me wrong. I done had people go behind me and tell cats, hey, whatever you paying Coco, I'll do the same thing for half the money or whatever. Okay.
Mm.
And the club owner, whatever, come up to me with, I got somebody to host this night you doing. I'll be like, okay, that's fine. No problem. Pay me for the night and go read that contract that I gave you. And we can handle the business. And then you get somebody and then you see the club owner or they call you a week after they didn't hire somebody else. Hey, listen, people didn't really like the way so-and-so hosted the show. You think you could come back?
Ooh.
Sure. But you gonna pay me double. You're gonna pay me double for my trouble. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the ugly face right there. So people did do it all, and as women,
mm-hmm.
it's automatically. And even though we think we've evolved, and Monique talked about it, and a lot of female comics have talked about it, having a level playing field,
yeah,
it's challenging. Because until you pull a knife or gun on somebody or something like that, you get tried sometimes.
Right.
And I've had promoters. I've been out of town. The promoters say, "Well, I'm gonna bring you your money to your room." No, you're not. To show it in my room. You're not coming to my room. And here's the thing. I don't boo boo where I eat. So how about that? So
okay.
No, you're not coming. No, you're not coming to my room. Thank God I've grown a little older and got a little wiser and learned some things. And I've been blessed and fortunate to be able to take security with me or and somebody to accompany me when I go and travel and go on the road. So that's one of the things. Or you sometimes you take another comic with you.
Yeah.
But it's just a certain amount of respect that sometimes people don't want to. They already in their mind don't want to respect you anyway.
Right.
So if I already don't want to respect you, then I'm gonna talk to you like you shout anyway. Like Bernie Mac said, you shout. Talk to you like you shout right. Anyway.
Yeah.
But then once you get past that, they're like, "Oh, she's something else to work with." No, I ain't something else. You ain't gonna pay me with weed. You ain't gonna pay me with liquor. You're not coming in my room. There's no reason for you to come in my room.
Wow.
Here's the receipt. Thank you. Read the contract that you got. Don't play with my money. Because Wherever I go, it's always, even out of the country, London, whatever, wherever I go, it's always somebody that's a phone call away that, and I've had to call people. I remember I was in Columbus, Ohio, and it was a promoter in Columbus. Ooh, janky. Um, and this was early in my career, but it was a promoter in Columbus. I froze
Mm-hmm.
again. And I had to catch the Greyhound bus to Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get there, I'm waiting on him, and he wasn't there. I said, "Oh, okay, my man ain't here." So I called my other guys, like, "Hey, y'all, I'm at the Greyhound bus station. Can y'all come get me?" They was like, "Yeah." They swooped up in the old school Suburban because it was back in the day then. They swooped up. My boy jumped out with the long leather coat on like he was in the Matrix. Came in the bus station looking around, intimidating people. I ran and got in the ride with them. So by the
Wow.
time I got to, he called the promoter called it the condo. But by the time I got to the condo, if you will, he's showing up. I came to the bus station. I said, "No, you didn't." I said,
Wow.
"Because it took a minute for me to get picked up." So people say you have to command respect and you have to carry yourself in a dignified manner. That's true. But some people, because they don't have a certain level of respect for themselves, they don't want to respect other people.
Right.
And they don't want to learn certain things. Or it's certain things that they don't want to open their mind up to. Or maybe they just can't at this particular time. So I don't want to say that, but maybe at this time they can't open their mind up to it.
Wow. I want to
Yeah.
say to everybody, thank you for who's in the house. Share the video, like the video, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I really do.
I
Um,
appreciate you for having me.
I do, Tom. I appreciate you for being here, but I've got another question.
Okay, well, let me say what's up to my man Jelly. Great promoter. I always love working with him. There are some amazing promoters in the city of Detroit that are comedians and promoters as well, and they do a wonderful, wonderful job. I can't name them all, but charge it to my head and not my heart right now. Shout out to all the comedians. Shout out to everybody that continues to support me. And I want to say this before we leave, Lee. I got to say this real quick. Um, to all the people who have told people, if you need me, call me, and people call you and you ain't never available, then they gonna move on. Stop making yourself available verbally, but you're not there physically when people really, really need you. So,
That's the word.
just
That's the word.
yes. So thank you. Y'all keep supporting my girl, keep supporting her and everything that she
You
does.
gotta
I
go.
thank you some. No, I thought you had to go.
No, I just wanted to say that, say thank you to the people that's in the room. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't.
Come on in the room.
I got a couple
Come
more
on.
questions.
You got some more questions?
Got some more questions.
Okay, come on.
So, going back to
Did I tell the men I was single? Okay, let me do my shameless public service announcement. I am single. Meet me in my DM.
oh,
Um, if we have a pleasant enough conversation, please don't start sending me nude pictures or pictures of you where you naked with a guitar in front of you like you Prince or all of that. I really don't want to see that. I didn't seen enough of them in my career between being a nurse and all the stuff that I've done. I done seen quite a bit of male nakedness. Thank you. I'm not starved for that. But I am available to date. We have to do social dating first. We're gonna do like Carmen and Tiffany Haddish. We can order food and eat and talk to each other on the thing.
that's what's
But
up.
yeah, I would like to have a really nice gentleman friend. Um, probably between the ages of 40 to 60.
Okay, close
Yeah.
to 40 though.
Yeah, kind of close to 40, but where if I talk about stuff, they ain't gonna be looking like what you talking about.
Right,
If,
right,
if they
right,
ain't live, if they ain't lived it, they could think about it.
right.
But 40 to 60, somebody who is not just financially secure, but they're not selfish. They could pay attention to the signs. They like to, they know your love language. That's the whole. I was talking to a guy about what is his love language, and he talking about, everything is so new and y'all just so new. I said, no, knowing a person's love language helps you to understand them.
That's true.
So it's 5 different love languages or 6 or whatever. So I was telling him my love language is it 5?
Yeah. You got physical touch, quality time, acts of service, words of affirmation, and gifts.
Yeah. So I like acts of service, words of affirmation, and gifts. And he said, "Why you don't like physical touch?" I said, I didn't say I didn't like it, but if we had to put it in order,
Uh-huh.
that's my order. And then physical touching and all of that is here. He said,
Right.
"Why I gotta be gifts?" I said, "Cause it does." But you could always tell a broke mofo, cause he always gonna say, "Why I gotta be gifts?" or "Why I gotta be this?" or whatever.
Right.
And
And
then
with them love languages, let's say you like this, just because that's what you like, don't mean the other person like that either.
yes, but
So,
it'll cut out all the other stuff if you tell me what your love language is and I tell you what mine is,
yeah.
then when you do certain things, I'll know what it is because you've communicated that to me.
Right.
We not having enough conversations initially.
Yeah.
And then by the time we figure a person out, they disrespecting us, they calling us out our name.
Mm-hmm.
We figure out that they gaslighting you.
Right.
They trying to make you think you crazy, or they saying, you trying to, you need some affirmation from them. You need somebody to say you did a great job or you looking nice or whatever. And that's not how they communicate their love.
Right.
So you won't be hurt and your feelings won't be hurt. If I know how you get down, then I won't feel some kind of way.
Right. Right.
So, for some men, it throws them off. For some folks, it throws them off.
Yeah.
Like men that always buy women roses. I think
Mhm.
roses are beautiful. Is
Yeah.
that my favorite flower? That's not my favorite flower. My favorite flower is a French tulip.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I love French tulips.
Calla lily for me.
Oh, I love calla lilies. They beautiful.
Yeah.
But see, when you tell somebody that you think one particular flower is beautiful, but this your preference, or this guy I was talking to, and not talking to like dating, just having a conversation with,
Uh-huh.
he told me, "Ain't them expensive?" I'm like, you ask me what I like. Don't ask the person what you like and then be mad because you like one thing and they don't eat that.
Right.
Or you like this and it's sort of like, and I know I'm all over the place, but it's sort of like cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see people post their crab boils on social media.
Right.
I'm not impressed by a crab boil. Number one,
You're allergic to shellfish, ain't you?
I am. I am. But I could cook a dog crab boil.
Oh yeah.
Way before it got popular. And I make a mean gumbo. But I have to literally like wear gloves and all that stuff. But I make an amazing gumbo. But a crab boil, you put everything in the bag, right?
Yeah.
And then tie the bag and put the bag in the water. How hard is that? Fago Red say it'd be more boil in it than crab. And it'd be so much salt, your ankles is doing like this because they
Ooh.
swelling up.
Oh man.
I'm just, I'm just saying. So, men, stop BSing. People stop BSing with people feeling. Stop asking a person what they want, and when they tell you what they want, you're not trying to give it to them because that ain't what you want to give them.
Right.
That's just like if I invite you over to dinner. I say, "Okay, Lily, I'm fixing dinner. What do you like?" And you say, "Well, you know what? I really like chicken, and I like this, and I like that, or whatever." You say, "Okay, so you say you like chicken. Let's say you like chicken
Macaroni and cheese.
asparagus, huh?
Macaroni and cheese.
Okay, chicken, macaroni, cheese, and asparagus." I say, "Okay."
Okay.
And you get over here. I got meatloaf, bologna, and collard green. Why did I even ask you?
That's happened to me before.
But why ask?
I don't understand that. I
See, they selfish.
yeah,
It's a certain amount of being selfish that goes along with asking a person what they need or asking them what they want, and you have no intentions of fulfilling that. You have no desire to fulfill what they need or what they want. You just really want to occupy space and mass and take up time in their life. And then when they move on,
yeah,
or the interest, you've done nothing to keep my interest. You've done nothing to pique my curiosity.
yeah.
All we've had is a conversation. Well, I talk for a living. So we got to go beyond. We got to go beyond that.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm like, okay, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm at the point in my life because I'm almost 60 years old that I don't want to. I don't want to hear all that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear. Yeah. Let's see. Let me tell you something. See, I don't want to hear that.
Actions speak
It,
louder than words.
it's supposed to,
Yeah.
but we've lowered our bar too. A lot of people have lowered their bar.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, we got to get back to
We got to
something.
do better.
So let's talk about this. I want to talk about this real quick. This
Okay.
whole yoni thing and this whole vaginal steaming that
That's the thing now.
no, we need to wash first. And I posted that on social media the other day. I get it and I get what it does.
Uh-huh.
The steaming restores moisture and it helps if you're a person that has severe cramps or you have fibroids and all that. I get that.
But
But at no point
washing.
should huh?
It don't replace washing.
It show listen. Now listen to me. Listen. At all don't it does not replace washing. It will nothing will ever take the place of actually sitting your tail in some water. And you ain't got to put a whole bunch of perfume and bubbles and stuff in it. You ain't got to do that. You could
Right.
soak with some baking soda and water. Nothing will replace that. So I get it. You take the little tea bag and you put it in the thing and you put the water in there and you sit on there and I get it. You put your y'all on the tea kettle and all that. I get it.
Leslie
I
said,
get it.
Leslie said, poaching the pea.
Yes, that's what you're doing, Leslie. What up, sis? You are. And
Huh?
let me take this minute to today is Woman Check Wednesday, and I want to salute all the phenomenal women in my life. And Leslie Andrews is definitely a phenomenal, phenomenal woman in my life. She just went through a interesting, challenging period in her life. She lost her mom, and I
Mm.
know what that is like. And her and her mom was like, baby, they was tighter than blue jeans in the '70s. Okay.
Wow.
So Leslie has definitely been like one of my shooters. Keep it real. Gonna give it to you just how it is. 100. I've worked with her and for her. Your money gonna be intact when you walk in the door. Before you touch a microphone or anything, she giving you that envelope. You gonna be all to the well.
That-
Paperwork done or whatever. Oh yeah, yeah. We need about 1,000 more Leslies and Fridas and Tony Johnsons and Leela's and Angela Davis's, sisters that's really handling their business. Like
Yeah.
for real, for real, for real. Like I'm
That makes
still
things much better.
that's what
I said when they handling their business, it makes things much, much better.
listen, it makes it a lot better. It
Mm.
makes it one I think women handle business and this is no slight against the men. So men don't start texting me with why you always dissing men. I'm not dissing men. I'm just celebrating women.
Yeah.
Um Man, I need you to understand something. If a woman tells you something, if we get some information and we tell you something, we not telling it to break you down. We telling you so you will know what's coming down the pipe. We letting you know what's going on. We not trying to break you down or whatever. And I think men need to understand, that, especially men of color, that we're not trying to break you down and we're not gonna always sweet mouth you and talk to you real nice because your mother and the other women in your life ain't talk to you real nice. Sometimes we're gonna say it real strong and it's gonna be kind of ugly. It may be ugly, but we telling you this because we trying to help you. Because once you get the information, you can in turn help us.
Right.
Example: Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman's like, you listen, you going. You don't get an option. You ain't going back. Because if you go back, they gonna break you down and you gonna tell.
Yeah.
So it's some men now that if there was a modern day Harriet Tubman, if you will, um, she would probably have to put them down because they would be running back out of fear to get back to, yeah. And I understand fear of the unknown can be crippling, but
Yeah.
fear of the known can be crippling too. So fellas, a woman tell you something, it's from a place of love. We're not trying to break you down. Sometimes as women we see things that you all don't see. I love you and your success is personal to me. All of us have to be good or none of us are good. That's why I love. That's what I'm talking about.
Amen.
That's the truth. If all of us ain't good, none of us good.
Yeah.
That is the truth. So, fellas, we're not trying to break you down. We just want to get you some information. And I've seen it so much in radio. Like Leslie and I worked at radio together.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we ain't in radio no more, we can have this conversation. It's been a lot of young men that have come in contact with us, and we had to tell them, listen, don't do that. Don't do that. That ain't going to work. You don't want to do that. Don't try to holler at her. Do this. And some of them like, okay, auntie, all right, okay. And some of them like, oh, I'm going to do this and this. I'll be like, no, baby, don't do that. I know it seemed like you could get away with it. And I know it seemed like it's a good lick, but nothing good will come of this. It ain't gonna work. Oh,
Right.
you just mad. No, I'm not mad. I've seen this before.
Mm.
You 18, 19 years old and you working for the radio station and people see you as being a very powerful person. You working in a particular department for the radio station and women gonna throw themselves at you. Don't do it. Don't. It ain't gonna. No. I listen. You driving a station vehicle. You driving a $65,000-$70,000 vehicle. Go where you going in the vehicle. Don't be trying to sneak and drink and drive the vehicle.
Mm.
Because if you get stopped, it's gonna be a situation. All right, auntie. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to help you, man.
Right. Trying to school them.
I ain't trying to open my locker. There's a memo in the locker that you've been let go, and we wish you well in your future endeavors. I'm not trying to see that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
So
that's it. Look, it's froze again. Ooh, it catch the ugliest faces. I do have to get some better lighting in my area that I sit in,
yeah.
and now I can see it now, and it don't help that my wall is coral or I don't know what color that is. Mm, It look coral sometimes, but then it don't.
Uh-huh.
I do want to paint because I am gonna be here for until I find that man that's gonna buy me the house I want. Anyway,
So
folks,
I wanted to
yes,
ask you. I wanted to ask you about the radio station. When you made that big transition and had to leave.
you talking about recently?
Yes. How did you not with the 910 changing, but before
Oh,
that? How did you cope with that?
when I left Radio One or when I left iHeart?
Whichever was the radio one, the last one.
Yeah, Radio One was the last one.
Yeah.
I kind of knew what was going on.
Uh huh.
You know, you've been in the business long enough. You kind of know.
Yeah.
You know, your spirit of discernment. My spirit of discernment is really, really heightened. So I kind of knew what was going on,
Uh huh.
and sometimes you think the person that is your ally is really a mole, and they're not working for
Wow.
you.
Wow.
They're working against you. So it can be interesting sometimes because you actually get out your bed every day and go into a situation and you work, and then the next situation is um, your demise is being planned
Wow.
because let it be no secret. Like I said, there are a bunch of schisms in radio.
Yeah.
And when you understand that, and you work with a certain situation or whatever, you learn to understand what you're dealing with. So
Yeah.
I knew, like, the last year that I was there, I kind of knew, based on some things that I had said um, in meetings where they tell you, oh, you can say what you feel or whatever. Bull.
Trap.
Because if you say what you feel, you have to be willing to handle the repercussions. So I remember in one meeting I said I didn't like the word urban. Urban to me is another word for the N word. And
Yeah.
people always lean on the word urban. It's urban. We're going to be urban and urban. I say, okay. I said, but what about suburban and that whole thing? I said, so I get the word urban, and to me, I don't like the word. And I said, I remember saying that in the meeting. I just don't like the word urban. Well, what
Yeah.
is it about the word that you don't like? It don't matter what it is about the word. You told me that this was a meeting and we could express and be ourselves, and I said I didn't like the word urban.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of, I can be kind of strong. I ain't for everybody. I definitely, I ain't, and I admit that. So
Yeah.
when you express how you feel, and it's more to when you know who you are, and like I said, you also know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
The art of war is knowing what you're dealing with. For me, my faith and my spirituality is based on knowing my relationship with God, and knowing that when I pray and I say certain things, and I pray certain prayers, God, don't allow these things to happen to me. Don't allow me to be in a situation where I'm fearful or I get harmed or any of those things. So I pray those prayers.
Yeah.
But also with that, your like I said, my level of discernment is really heightened.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what I'm dealing with. Even in life, when I'm out with somebody or I'm hanging out with my friends, I'm always watching the people that are coming and going. And people say, "Why are you looking like that?" I'd be like, "He got a gun." They be like, "Where?" I said, "Yeah." And you at a restaurant or whatever, and you looking and you see somebody with a gun. It's like, okay, well, maybe whatever. But everybody carry pistols and stuff now. It said you can't tell everybody everything. They will use it against you or take it and use it for themselves. That's true. That's very, very true. Some things you have to keep close to you, like you pregnant, like you having a pregnancy. You just got to keep it real close. You do, like a pigeon. You ever see how pigeons you sleep like this?
Yeah, I do.
Let's see, just like this. If y'all can see that, like this. But you do have to keep some stuff really, really close to you.
Yeah.
So I watch people in my environment. I watch where I go. I pay attention when I'm driving by myself. All those things. Lauren said that's an Aquarian energy. We get in trouble for telling and speaking the truth. Lauren, that might be. I just I and now that I'm grown, I don't even want to say that I necessarily get in trouble. I think it goes back to the movie with Jack Nicholson where he said, what was the movie? Yes, very true. You have to move in silence. You have to be like a ninja, Lauren. That's absolutely correct. Lauren is one of my amazing, amazing sisters as well, but she's a daughter to me. Niece, daughter, goddaughter, whatever, doing wonderful, 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 amazing things. I'm proud of this generation of women, the generation I'm in, and
Mm-hmm.
then a generation that's behind me, 10 years behind me, and then a generation that's 20 years behind me. Because I think the generation that's 20 years behind me is pushing the generation that's 10 years behind me in my generation.
Mm-hmm.
They sort of push us. They subtle sometimes, but they push us. So like Lauren and my daughter and even my dentist, amazing young woman. Shout out to Tooth Fairy. She's amazing. But it's just how they move. They move very very stealth-like and very majestic and all of those things. Yes, do they experience trauma and emotions and all of that stuff like that? Absolutely. But it's the way that they sort of fearless. Like it makes you really step up your game. Like, oh my goodness, wait, let me get myself together.
Right.
But it makes you say, let me get myself together. And then I look at them also in terms of, you know, they need nurturing as well. But they're a force to be reckoned with. They're strong and they're confident and they're bold and they're smart and they're attractive and all of those things. They
Yeah.
like I'm doing this, you know, and we'll pick up and move. They'll pick up and move. They'll be like, you know what? What's the day? Wednesday. I'm gonna move to Texas Saturday. I'm like, what part of Texas? I don't know. I'm gonna move something.
Just get up and go.
Yes, yes, but they live in life because
Yeah.
you don't know how long you can't. No, you don't know how long you're gonna be here. And
Yeah.
people always say, well, I'm gonna do a better job tomorrow. Tomorrow not promise. You gotta live in the now. You gotta do exactly what needs to be done right now.
Yeah.
You can't worry about tomorrow. You can't worry about yesterday. I can't go back and worry about like, you know what? If I would have if, if hmm if that's the if. And Sophia, hey Sophia. Sophia's another one. That
Yeah.
generation of that whole get it done generation. Yes, like oh I'm moving to so and so. I'm like oh, okay. And then they called me like where you at? I told you I was moving. I'm like I didn't know it was tomorrow. But they challenge you to keep your game together. They challenge you. They kind of and the young men as well. And the young men as well. The young men are doing things as well. So shout out to all the men that are helping males become men.
Yes. Shout them out.
Shout out to all of them, Jason and Daryl and Eddie and all the amazing men that are helping and Martin and all those amazing Andre and Manju and all those men that are helping males to become men.
That's what's up.
Because we got a lot of males who you gotta not only hold their feet to the fire, you may have to push their foot down in it and let them feel that heat
Yeah.
because they just and mamas you gotta let your sons hit the wall. You have to let your sons and your grandsons and your nephews hit the wall. Hey, oh baby, you taught me well knowledge you bestowed on us. We built this way. That's funny. That is funny. Yes, Sophia, I know. Them are some amazing young ladies. Thank you. They tough. They tough.
So
Um,
so
but
Coco.
mom, yes,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to tell the mamas, you gotta, you can't keep breastfeeding these grown men.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about. I'm talking about you holding on to him because you probably not with the father
Yeah.
for whatever reason. Maybe the father wasn't fit. Maybe whatever. Maybe the father left because he was not equipped to be a father. And people always say, I need the men to step up and be fathers. Well, sometimes they can't be a father because they don't know how. So in those instances, do you want that toxic individual in your life? Just let them go. But you also have to all these negative things about the absent parent. It works on both sides.
Yeah, that's true.
So, mamas, you got to quit breastfeeding these grown men. Every time he mess up in life, oh, that you know what? She ain't good enough for you, no way. She
Mhm.
she don't she ain't good enough for you. Come on, baby, you could come on back over here.
Yeah.
And you got a pattern. So you go out and do whatever you want to do in life and run back to your mama.
Yeah.
And your mama grown, but you don't like the man she dating. So you creating dissension in the household. Or your mama grown and you mad, you grown and your mama mad and you mad.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on one second. We're not done.
It's just stuff that I like. Ooh, you ever see an old man, he's trying to be young, and he got on the wrong hip-hop clothes? He got them all on, Nike, Adidas, Fila, Puma. And then he got some Timberlands on, but he had to cut the toe off the Timberlands because he got gout and his feet hurt. Y'all don't like me no more. The old men rolling their eyes. You can't catch me. You got a titanium hip, I got a titanium knee. What we gonna do? I got a friend, and my girl be like, you need to date me in your own age. No, I
Am I back?
It's an old man named Awful.
Am I back?
It ain't Arthur, it's Awful.
Yeah, you back.
Okay.
And he always trying to use scriptures on his here. You need to just go on and settle down. I like Arthur.
What
Play
was
that beautiful footage.
Where was that from?
I was in Pontiac. Some buddies of mine are a musician, and they had they were doing this annual event at the spot in Pontiac. It had to be about 400 or 500 people there, and it was, ooh, I had a ball. Yeah, play that.
I did want to
And my
ask you,
man,
on Def Comedy Jam, and when you took the bottle out and everybody stood up and cheered, how was you feeling right then?
I wanted to run off stage. I really did.
Did you?
Like, oh my, that standing ovation. That my heart was already like do 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 do. And I told you everybody was in the audience. Brian McKnight, TLC, LL Cool J, anybody that you could have possibly thought was anybody was in LA during that time, and they love comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy and hip hop and music has a direct correlation. So I'm in the back and I'm watching people come in, and then when it's call time, you got to go in the back. But I'm watching, I'm like, dang, Tiny Lister was in the audience. Everybody.
Wow.
So if you watch that same episode when Mike Epps did a joke, Tiny Lister was gonna run up on stage, and he ran up running at Mike Epps because Mike Epps was talking about people that got an eye that kind of do what you don't like eyes to do. Yeah, So it was when I came off stage and went in the back, everybody was like, because a lot of those people ran in the back. They was like, "Oh my goodness, you are funny." They said you could have just ended with that. You ain't had to do nothing else. Just once you pull the bottle out, you could have said, "Thank y'all, good night," and just walked off stage.
Seriously.
So when I did that, because I haven't done that joke in such a long time, but when I did that, it's almost I'm so challenged because everything I do has to be a crescendo from that point on. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, she just did this, but she got to top what she just did. And it's funny because the stuff is right there on the stool, and I'm still telling my jokes, but I'm watching people still look at that like she just pulled all of that out of her bra.
And
So I gotta
everybody,
go.
I promise everybody, like I was so proud to actually be on the show with you at the Joy Manor. But
Yes.
when I had my flyer and people saw you on there, they're like, she still pulled liquor out her bra.
Be like, no, Hopper, her don't pull no more liquor out of bra. Well, I have had a
Thank
wonderful,
you,
wonderful time.
Nubian.
They said this is why I love Lily. She's always encouraging people to be their best. She amazing. Lily, and I have to say to you, let me just say this. I salute you and I commend you on just being a woman of honor, respect, and dignity. Um, being a comedian, but not just being a comedian, being a business person, an entrepreneur, and taking the whole comedy and entertainment to a whole another level or whatever, and
Thank
setting a bar that I don't even think you're aware that you're setting. You're setting a standard, and I really don't think that you know it. And I think because you're so busy doing what you do, that's a good thing that you're not aware of it. And I stalked
Thank
you.
you.
I literally like when you started posting
What?
about this. I did. When I called you, remember I had went to another spot storage place
Yeah, yeah,
looking for you, and then I was
yeah,
like, okay, wait a minute. And then I DM you like, okay, I'm at another storage spot. Which one you at? And
yeah.
when you sent me, and I called you on the phone, and I'm like, okay, I'm coming over there. I don't think that you really thought that I was coming. And I'm like, I hope this woman don't think I'm crazy and I'm stalking her
I
or
didn't think that
whatever.
I was in shock though. Then you got to see some of the craziness I deal with.
Ooh, yes, I'm glad. I feel so much better that you work behind glass. And it's like a whole. So to the people that watch Storage Wars on reality TV, that's just when the storage unit get open. Lele deal with them getting the storage vehicle, getting the rental vehicle, whatever. And some of the stuff that people say, like, I ain't got no driver's license, but I got some ID, but I ain't got no tickets. Well, how do I know if I don't have your license and you can't rent a truck? How you gonna rent a vehicle and you don't have a license? You can't do that nowhere in the world.
Right.
And to hear the people try to explain themselves, because when people walk in, I walk to the side so people won't see me. But to hear people try to explain it, or I'll be back, or you gotta pay with a credit card, and they like, well, you don't take cash. Well, no, no, we don't. Well, why you don't take cash? And blah 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 blah.
They out
I'm
of
like, ooh,
control. They are ever since COVID, we don't even do the trucks no more.
yeah, you can't. You really can't unless you got a whole cleaning system set up to clean them when they come back.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But
Mm.
if you're interested, I do know somebody. Shout out to my girl, Kim. She has oh, I don't want to mess the name up, but they do the ionization or whatever. They do funeral homes and they do
Oh
daycare
wow.
centers and they do schools and barbershops and beauty salons, wherever, where they go in with the machines and wipe me down. I'm on, cause I'm on. I'm on.
They
I'm
would have to be
on.
there
Wipe
all
me
day
down.
for that.
Well, they had to do each vehicle. I
Yeah,
mean, or y'all limit rental of the vehicles to 10 per day or whatever.
yeah.
I'm sure something that could be done. It's everything is
We just
negotiable.
gonna leave it alone because the riffraff that used to come with the people, I don't have that as
Yeah.
much no more. Now I just deal with the regular nuts,
Okay. Yeah.
not the mixed nuts, just the regular ones now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's very true. Well, let me tell y'all people, I have enjoyed myself. We've been on here an hour and 40 something minutes.
I know, right?
Um, yes, and I want to thank you and I want to thank everybody that tapped in. And
Thank
you
you
all can
very
reach
much.
me. On Facebook, my name is Ginger Hudson. Please don't ask me why my name is Ginger Hudson on Facebook, but it is Ginger Hudson. That is me. So
It's
if you
all
got
love.
if you got a message for me, then that is who I am. My Gmail is laughwithcoco@gmail.com. Instagram is Coco the Comic. Twitter is Coco the Comic. So you all don't have a problem. My Cash App is my cell phone number. So if you have my cell phone number, add the area code and you could just bless me. If you feel God is moving in your life right now, amen. If you feel something tugging at your purse strings and your heartstrings in such a way, and you
Right,
feel like you wanna bless me. Any way you bless me, I'll be satisfied. You feel something tugging at your heartstrings and my face keep popping up in your head. Just remember it's my cell phone number. And if you really want to cash at me, you don't have my cell phone number. It's $ 301B. That's 301B. My face gonna pop up with my Carmen San Diego for fedora on, and that beats me. So anyway, you bless me, I'll be
you be
satisfied. I
wearing
want to
them
tell you,
hats though.
I love my hats.
You be wearing them
Shout
hats.
out, shout out to my brother Wayne McGibbon over on Livernois. Follow him on social media, McGibbon Clothier. He sells hats, but he also sells clothes, and they do alterations and stuff. So if you're on the Avenue of Fashion, if you're on Illinois, he right next to Bucharest,
Oh, okay.
right next to Bucharest. So any hat that you like, I got a whole bunch of hats, and it's finna get to be hat time of the year. I like hats and I like hoods.
Hey.
This is my Cisco kid was a friend of mine. Boop 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 boop. This that poncho.
That's what's up.
And
Well,
y'all like that's racial. I'd be like, no, that's not. Thank y'all so much. Y'all are amazing, Lily. Thank you.
I appreciate you so much, and I love you.
I appreciate you. I love you back, darling.
Thank you again, and keep doing what you're doing.
Wait. Do me one favor. Run that footage that you was finna run with
The last
when I
one.
was when I was in Pontiac. I got to
Okay.
see that.
Okay.
It's just stuff that I like. You ever see an old man, he's trying to be young, and he got on the wrong hip-hop clothes? He got them all on, Nike, Adidas, Fila, Puma. And then he got some Timberlands on, but he had to cut the toe off the Timberlands because he got gout and his feet hurt. Y'all don't like me no more. The old men rolling their eyes. You can't catch me. You got a titanium hip, I got a titanium knee. What we gonna do? I got a friend, and my girl be like, you need to date me in your own age. No, I don't. It's an old man named Arthur. It ain't Arthur, it's Arthur. He always trying to use scriptures on me. See, you need to just go on and settle down. I like Arthur.
And that's a true that is a true story. His name is Arthur. And no, for real. Quick story. Me and my girlfriend Sam was at the marina. We down at the marina. And Arthur came up, and it was in the summertime, it was hot. And my girl Sam is a woman of size, and I'm a woman of size, and he's talking about y'all some beautiful women. Y'all beautiful. He said your eyes is clear and your skin smooth. And he put that big heavy hand on me and was rubbing my hand. He almost tore a layer of skin off. Talking about your eyes is clear. Talking about y'all ain't out here drinking and doing no drugs because your eyes is white and your skin is beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You know, I retired from Fords. I said Fords. Yeah, Fords. I worked at the plant. And he kept saying that he kept hitting his pocket. I got plenty of money.
Mm.
And he had a new baby. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave quick as I can. When older men have babies, those babies look like older men. I'm going to tell you why. Because sperm oxidizes. You could Google this. It starts to get rusty. You know how you ever open an old can of pet milk that was in the back of your cabinet?
Yeah.
And it got that brownish, rusty skim on the top because it been up there forever. That's what happens. And those older men make babies, and those babies look like little young civil rights leaders.
Man.
They do. All they need is a cigar like this. They don't even suck their pacifier like this. Them old babies suck their pacifier to the side like it's a cigarette.
Oh my goodness. I can't.
Have a beautiful day. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in. Listen, next week y'all check out my girl. Go to my page and comment on the show. Go to her page and comment on the show. Keep walking in greatness. Listen, people, mask up, be safe. And I have to say this, if you experiencing your feelings and you feel some kind of way and you feeling a tremendous amount of anxiety or heaviness or whatever, reach out to an agency. You got social service agencies, you got community health agencies, you got Detroit Wayne Mental Health, you got different agencies to reach out to and get some help. And guess what? If you feeling that way, talk to your children and see how they feeling. And to you mamas that's doing homeschooling with your kids, before you go on and zoom in on that camera, I'm going to need you to put a bra on and to put your good teeth in your mouth. Can you do that for me, please? Because them kids is this all this virtual is brand new.
Yeah.
And listen, old people, stop looking at your camera like this, like you could see what's behind the thing, like you could see the people, furniture and stuff. You can't see no more than what y'all taking the computer, putting your eye all up on it, like you can't see no more than what you see. So listen, on that note, I love y'all. Be amazing. And peace out, Lele. Thank you, darling.
You are so welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, baby. Bye.
All right. Love you.
Love you back.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you send any inquiries to info@experience.com. Comedy is life.